play, everyone. Alex stepping all over the intro now. It has been a day.
It has been one heck of a day.
I'm Andrew Reiner. Kimberly Wallace is over this way, and Alex Stadnick is over here. I'm rubbing his head right now.
Oh, it feels so good. Oh, yeah, I needed a head rub.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Here's a little more. Yeah, just lean in. I'll scratch.
Okay.
You're going the wrong way. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
nice.
Go.
How's that feel?
Oh, Zidane looks so...
Oh, I feel good. So, but in classic fashion, do we need to change his name?
Yep. Call him Butts. This is Zidane. He has a tail. I wonder if the art style is something that was off-putting for people after coming off 7, which was a little realistic. 8 really went for realism, right?
Yeah.
The character designs. And this one, they went back to, what was it? The Crystal era? They used to call it something. The certain design and kind of themes. But
yeah, this is the like they went back more classic for this one, and it was like medieval setting, where before, obviously we were doing more futuristic stuff before.
Yeah.
It's Butts. But Zidane, as I've said, is still one of my favorite protagonists I think that they've had. All the other ones at one point or another, besides, I'm not talking classic, like more recent ones, annoy me. And he's just an awesome dude, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucks. This game came out, I think also an issue was like the PlayStation 2 had been out like a couple months when this actually released. And so
in Japan, right?
Yeah, I think what had happened with some of it too was that people were, who were early adopters on the PS2 wanted something that was going to, and get this, 10 only came out like a year after this, if I remember correctly. So
really?
Jumping from this to 10.
Wow.
10 just leveraged that system so well. Oh God, I remember the first time I loaded up 10. It was just like, wow.
Yeah. That's wild.
And I remember just. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just because that's wild to me that I feel like my knowledge of Final Fantasy is more just there's something every like 5-10 years or whatever, but it's crazy they used to get them out that quickly.
Yeah, they used to, someone was joking the other day when the remake stream for Final Fantasy VII, they're like, remember when we used to get a new Final Fantasy like almost every year? What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Those days are long. Those are long gone.
Yeah.
So this is the world of Gaia, I believe,
Yep.
and we're in the kingdom of Alexandria. And the interesting thing about this beginning of the game is I think we're here to kidnap a princess.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it has kind of like a dark theme with your character, but then you learn as this goes on that the princess was trying to escape the queen, who has gone kind of crazy.
Yeah, her mom.
I think the world split up into like, there's the region of Mist. I can't remember what the other ones are, but just really clever, really unique, and something that, man, if you look at 7, 8, and 9 together, it's amazing. And it really kind of made me disappointed when they did Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, 13-3, right?
Yeah.
Or Lightning Returns, or whatever you call them. Just because I thought they were so good at coming up with new Final Fantasy adventures for people to be on. I get the allure of having like a trilogy or whatever, but part of what really made this series sing early on was they were all different.
Yeah.
And held true to the name, Final Fantasy. This is the Final Fantasy of these characters or whatever, right?
I had always wondered where that had stemmed from, the name Final Fantasy, but that
there is
makes
something
sense.
behind the name.
Yeah.
Of why? Oh, it was because the company was close to financial ruin.
Oh.
And they decided that they had to. This is like they're all in on this. This could be the Final Fantasy for this developer.
Oh wow, that's a lot darker than I thought. All right. Kind of takes it out of it when it doesn't have the music going. Ah, dumb. Usually games allow you to manipulate the sound. But that's okay. Vivi is the only character I'm familiar with from this game. And I don't
He's my fave.
is Vivi that a certain like race of creatures, like, or species, or is it like Vivi is just Vivi? Like, was Vivi in Kingdom Hearts? Like, I don't remember.
So that was like the mage design
Okay.
for the earlier Final Fantasies, and Vivi though is its own separate character.
Okay, I gotcha.
Black mage, sorry.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I can't remember, because I sound like a broken record at this point. I remember seeing the Black Mage in Kingdom Hearts. That's where I'm familiar with, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting when I talk to you, Alex, because all your Final Fantasy knowledge comes from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And that's really like, I just will even be like, for me, it's just like you recognize everything. It's like, oh yeah, that's fine. But for you, when you go back to these games, it's fun seeing you be like, oh, that's where that was from Kingdom Hearts that I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And yeah, the mage is obviously a really cool part of Final Fantasy. I think, what was it? Final Fantasy IV had the blue mage. And those games weren't originally out in America until PlayStation, I think, when they did the collection, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Hey, don't knock me over. Where are we all going?
Sorry for no sound for people joining in, but we're having all sorts of technical difficulties. Maybe we will pre-record replay in the future.
I think it's an issue with this game because we can't turn the game audio down.
This actually looks better than I remember, like graphic-wise. I know obviously we're playing it on. It's been spruced up a little bit, but cute art style.
Yeah. Like if we
love the backdrops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we do roulette to our other game, though, that the sound won't be an issue.
Look at him. Orko, remember He-Man?
Boop, 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 boop. Like the way he walks. What is that? Hip Hall. That's clever. I like that. Let's see where we're going here.
Man, it looks good. Man, this looks like Hogwarts.
Yeah, a little bit. Reiner,
Play some Quidditch in there.
Your mic's doing its thing that it loves to do.
All right, that should be better.
Yes, it is. So, yeah, interesting. This era is just so interesting to me, just like design wise and graphically.
Yeah, I know there's something to, games today of having the polygonal backgrounds match up with the polygonal characters and having that be all unified and all that stuff. But there's something to these painted backdrops or, these pre-rendered backdrops, whatever you want to call them, that it just sings. Like they're just forever beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of games on PlayStation 1 just do not hold up and have kind of lost their graphical qualities, like Tomb Raider, especially games like that, just look awful. But these games, it still looks great, in my opinion. Like I think, obviously the pixelization's a problem and stuff like that, but
yeah.
I think there is something to these games that is timeless.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, poor Vivi.
All right.
Cards.
Oh, the character designs in this.
Yeah.
So good.
So someone yesterday in our Final Fantasy chat said that the holy trinity of Final Fantasy games are 7, 8, and 9. Do you guys agree with that? Is
Yes,
that accurate?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, again, just like a transformative era of gaming, PlayStation 1 especially, moving into 3D space. But what Square did with this series, Final Fantasy 3, I think a lot of people say might be their favorite game ever. There's a lot of people in that camp was the best RPG ever made. But as a 3-pack for what was on that system, and then you have tactics as well. Like it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kim?
Well, I'm kind of mixed on it because I really like, Super Nintendo era of, 6 obviously, and 4, but also, like, I think 10 was a really big deal too, so it's like it feels like we're missing out on that. So yeah, I don't know. It's for 3 of them that are solid entries that line up. Probably, that's probably why that gets said a lot, and also had a lot going on then. But man, I don't know. It's a tough call for me.
Yeah.
I like to just jump around, I guess, and which one each era kind of was a big deal for me.
I gotcha. I'm definitely.
I actually don't have a recent one actually. Like, I wouldn't say. Yeah, Gucci Dolphin. I'm gonna do more than what I'm supposed to on this and say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
7 was a big thing for me too as a kid, because I remember just getting that in my PlayStation and being like, damn, like 7 and 10 are really big points for me, where I was seeing where the technology and where RPGs could really grow and go in the future, which I think those are real exciting for those reasons. On storytelling too, alone, and voice acting and cinematics and all that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Gosh, I can't say enough good stuff about the art style here.
For sure.
Yeah, this looks fantastic. Like, I always get worried in the game sometimes that I'm gonna realize, oh, this hasn't aged well or whatever. But
this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying this like looks good. The only thing I remember, I went back to play this, I think like maybe, well, now it was a long time ago, but like 5 or 6 years ago. And just the encounter rate's a little high, from what I remember, and then battles taking a long time. But I mean, like, when you're going into a more classic game that you're gonna, encounter those things.
Yeah.
So it's up to you if you have like the stomach to deal with that. But other than that, like, it was pretty solid from what I remember going back to it.
For sure. Oh. Do you remember what I'm supposed to do here? Am I doing the right thing?
Well, you rang the bell.
I did ring the bell. I got some cards. They said I can't. I need 5 cards to do something. Let's see. Items.
Oh, I got an itch.
There's something to the framing of the shot, right, that has been lost today. Every once in a while you have transitional sequences in games, but usually, as I'm playing 7 now, it's over my shoulder.
Yeah.
But here, you really let the artist pinpoint what they want you to see. Have it framed perfectly for that shot. And I love that when you went in that house, like you just saw, how it went upstairs. Just really creative how they placed that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming this is a little side quest that I just got here. Wanna play some cards? Sure, we'll play some cards.
Hell yeah, we're gonna play some cards.
Tetra Master Rules.
Yes!
5 cards to win. Okay.
All right, Alex,
So
you're on the spot here.
What in tarnation are we doing here? Oh, this is my favorite, getting thrown into a game that I've played hundreds of times and being expected to, let's see.
It says everything you need to. The battle begins.
Yeah. Next to one of your opponent's cards. Okay. Throw right here. Okay.
Oh.
Let's see. The game ends once all cards are in play.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this their best card game that they've had.
Yeah.
But
okay, so I'm losing to every one of these at least so far.
Yeah, not a good start.
No, but that's
there we
okay.
go. They call you the comeback kid.
Yeah, they do.
As of today.
As of right now. I won!
Look at you!
Guys,
Look at you!
They call me the Tetra card shark here. No?
You do well under pressure, Alex.
Thank
I'm
you.
impressed.
Thank
All right,
you.
you got a card.
I feel like I just took this kid's lunch money or something, but that's okay.
You should just kick him into the water.
This is Sparta action. Okay, so I think it looked like I had enough cards. Let's see if I can go back and take care of this.
And I've liked every Final Fantasy game, I think. I mean, seriously, if I really think about it, even the Lightning Returns games,
Really?
like, or I would rather have individual entries, but I still had fun with those games.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like we were talking about yesterday, I feel like I'm hitting a jumping off point where now I want to research this series even more and get more in depth of it, which I'm very excited about. Let's see. Hold on. Do I have enough cards now? No vacancies today. Fine, I'll play you, Fishman. See what you got.
It's all about the cards.
I feel like I spaced all this from the playing all the cards from the beginning of the game.
Yeah. It's amazing how quickly they throw you into this.
Okay, so then...
When did you start playing the card game in Witcher?
Never.
Oh, you just...
I never played Gwent. I'm not a card game guy anymore. Yeah, this guy is not messing around here.
Anymore? When did you like card games? Which ones?
When I was a kid, I played a lot of not today. Not gonna happen today. We played Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards.
I was gonna guess Pokemon.
Yeah, shocking, I know.
He took a card from you, man.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Let's see if I can take Hip Hall's cards here.
You're gonna run out of cards.
Yeah.
Don't blow it, Alex.
Come on, chat. Cheer him on.
Or just tell me what to do. But yeah, that was kind of, the thing back in the day was. So I thought I would win that one. I guess not.
Oh.
Come on, Alex. You got this. Oof.
Oh. A little combo.
Okay.
Oh, I win.
Hey yo.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that is a stomping.
Dominating victory.
He should just give you all of his cards.
Yeah. Actually, I want the deed to your house. No, that's okay. I've taken enough of your cards here. Chat, or if you guys have a suggestion, I'd love to hear it. Other than just whooping up on the people of Alexandria for where I'm supposed to go next. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Let's explore over here, maybe? Looks like people are... Let's see. Looks like we're having a party over here.
Let's join the party.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
That's something to do. Let's do that.
Nope, and they're just talking about flowers, which I know nothing about.
You need to find the rat kid again.
Okay.
They say, and then find...
Okay.
Yeah, the rat kid on the roof from the bell tower.
Okay. All right, well, this is an adventure together, Oh, let's see. Because I think he proposed something to me, but I saw I don't know what I thought I saw, but I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. But I think I probably should have said yes.
We'll figure it out.
Michael Medina says jump rope 1,000 times. I don't know if that would help our situation.
Yep, that is how you get that spot, Alex.
Away we go.
By Nature says 9 would make a great anime series.
It would.
Oh,
9
man.
had
Netflix,
really good characters. Like, really good. Like, I loved the way that they explored characters, and the story is really done well, I feel like not a lot of people talk about it enough,
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. I feel like it sometimes doesn't get the love it deserves.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that people say it's one of the best, too. I think that's interesting.
the people who actually played it
Yeah.
really see something special and know what's good about it. But um,
Yeah.
other than that,
I gotcha. Do you think like if Final Fantasy VII, blows up and does really well, which, I'm sure it's bound to do, do you think there's a chance they start doing those heavy remakes on more of these games?
I don't think so.
There's
I think
Wrathway.
that game has such a special spot in people's hearts.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that really, really stands out. Maybe you could say 3, 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I remaking 7 makes more sense than remaking 3, right? Like the pixelated look still looks good and all that, whereas Final Fantasy 7 definitely aged. It was slow. You couldn't skip summons. There was a lot of issues with that. Like just going back to play it now, they needed to do some tweaks, and remaking that made sense, especially after you had Advent Children, where everybody's like, imagine if the game looked like that. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
I think the game even looks better than Advent Children, which is crazy to think.
Would you guys, and I don't know if I'm if I'm speaking blasphemy or not here, but would you guys be open to a 6/3 remake, but in the style of Octopath Traveler? Like that graphical fidelity?
I would love them to remake 6 because at this point, I don't feel like that's one of my favorites, and I don't feel like a lot of people have an easy time going back to it and kind of seeing how ahead of its time it was in terms of storytelling and what it did. And 6 also is the one that they've released, I feel like the least amount of times out of all their Square loves to put all their library on as many places as they can, but 6 is not as easy to get a great version of it.
Yeah, because it was on the SNES Classic, and that's the only.
Yeah, and then there was I believe Game Boy Advance, one which is arguably the best way to play it. Let me just. But other than that, I would like a more. I don't. It would be hard for me to go to 6 in a remake and have it have the realistic art style. I would be interesting though to see. What some of the characters I feel like even the villain reimagined, but I don't know. Octopath might be the way to do now that you mention it.
I would love to see one of the games. Who is the main artist, Kim, in that style? Like do the entire game in that kind of pencil, lightly drawn, kind of squibbly kind of style. I think that would be fascinating.
Because
since we're going to be living in 7 land for so long, who knows how many 7 sequels we're going to get?
Yeah,
it'd be great if they'd go to Final Fantasy 16 and do that as another pixel-based game. A lower budget one, as they're spending spending a lot of money on 7, but just keep the numbered entries going and do something like this, or the old Super Nintendo games again.
Oh, I forgot 6 was also on PS1, but that version is awful. Don't play it that way.
Really?
Please. Save yourself the time.
What makes it that bad?
It's just not great.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity to play Chrono Trigger, and there's so many different versions of it, and a lot of people say they're just nowhere as good as the SNES version. So I'm just hoping they put it on Switch at some point, or they're working on a remaster type of thing for it.
The DS version, 6 had terrible controls on the PS1. That was what was the issue. But
got it.
For Chrono Trigger, that one's an easy one to go back to. I feel like that's aged maybe one of the best out of all their classic games. But you need the DS version is definitely the way to play it.
Okay.
That's still, if you ask me, I'm not going to start fights here, but if you ask me best RPG of all time, I'm going Chrono Trigger.
Wow. Every RPG, just
because
JRPG?
it just, every RPG.
Wow.
Just because that game, so
all right, I'm going to throw out what I think are the 4 best RPGs that people would say today.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 3, Chrono Trigger, Skyrim, Witcher 3.
Witcher 3, absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you say your 4 are, Cam? Or that if you had to think about what people would say.
Hold on. First, are we keeping it VV, or are we doing Butts Jr., Butts 2.
Oh, you can keep it VV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
VV Butts.
Okay. VV Butts. Okay. Continue. Sorry.
Oh man, top 4. Oh well, I would probably I'd put a Persona game in there. Probably. So I have such conflicting emotions about the last 3 Persona entries because I love 3 personally, and that game though is hard to ask people to go back to. But 3 for me, when that released on PS2, because the series had a lot of time off between that. God, and how that was when they introduced social links, and it was a darker story too, and maybe I'm just like a little emo sometimes, but I like that part of it.
Yeah.
And then 4 did everything mechanically wise better than 3, but and I like that cast. That cast, it was a little more lighter toned, and I mean you had so many, like, it felt like the Scooby-Doo squad for that one, right? That's what people often refer to it. And then 5, I really like 5, but I do not like that cast as much as I liked the cast in 3 and 4. And so for me, I'm like a very like, but I tell people to play that over the other 2 because obviously like they did some more, modernized mechanics in that and whatever. God, yeah. For someone who loves characters, I wish I loved. Okay, I'll give 5 this. Makoto is a BA, and I love her for that, and she's one of my favorite characters. But because I think she reminds me a lot of Mitsuru, who's from 3 is one of my favorites. But oh my God, I'm going into a long Persona rant. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm sorry.
Keep going. No, keep going.
Yeah. This is why we ask.
Yeah, so that's why I feel conflicted about all 3 of those entries because I could see recommending any of them to people for different reasons. And that is totally what has me conflicted about 5. Like, I want frickin' to love that cast as much as I did as that other cast. So, the past 2. So it bums me out a little bit. I didn't like them more.
Yeah. So then do you have an answer? Do you have, or is that a long way of saying?
It's one of those games which feels like it's better for you. Let's just put that, but a Persona game should be on there. I feel like, like I said, my issue with the problem with, I would always say Final Fantasy VI is great, one of my favorites. It actually is, I think, my favorite if I look at everything. But telling people to go back to that is very difficult right now.
Right.
Chrono Trigger, I can recommend that and know that you can go back to that and you will be just fine.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I'd put a Persona game in there and Chrono Trigger and then Witcher 3. I don't think I liked Skyrim as much as most people, which is going to get me in trouble here.
No, not in trouble. I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that. There's a love of Skyrim that I get, but it just never clicked for me like some people.
I think I would put a Mass Effect game in there, the trilogy, if I could.
But
the thing I'll say about the Elder Scrolls game and how like Skyrim is the pinnacle of that, it was the freedom of exploration and kind of plotting your own path. It was still clunky. There was backwards flying dragons when it launched and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But just that fantasy of being able to do what you wanted in this world, it was transformative again. You know, that was another moment in time where it was like, holy cow, this changes everything.
Well, and that had moments in culture too, where I have a lot of friends who, they like Call of Duty, they like Madden, they like sports games and stuff like that, but they don't really game outside of that. But that transcended basically every realm, where every one of my friends, no matter how deep into the hobby they were, like that, everyone was playing that at the time.
I think, Skyrim did a lot for open world games. I will not deny that.
Yeah.
And just that freedom, I think they really pushed that there. And I think that's why we have so many games now that have these cool open worlds, is they kind of took, a cue from games like that. So I'm not saying it's awful or anything. It's just, for me, I didn't connect with it, I feel like, as much as most people.
And
for some people, it started all the way back at like Morrowind, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Oh
they-
yeah,
they started having
Morrowind.
that
They
feeling.
just that progression that they went Morrowind.
hmm
But
to that.
Oblivion was better, but Skyrim was the one that was like the mainstream Elder Scrolls game, right? The one that really just put that series on a map for the masses.
yeah,
Although each one before it, they were selling millions of copies, but that was the one that was just a juggernaut.
yeah.
And the other game, if I had a fifth, it'd be Mass Effect. And when Mass Effect came out, when that trilogy ended, or when they announced that your save was gonna continue on into each game,
hmm
Mhm.
I thought that was gonna change the industry. I thought that was gonna be the norm for all sequels.
Yeah, I did too.
So, like the thought of like in any action game where you would go into the sequel and they'd strip you of all your powers, God of War 2, like they find clever ways to do it, but I was
Mhm.
like, well, they don't have to do that anymore if the saves are carrying on.
Yeah,
No one followed that Mass Effect's lead. There's very few games that did that. And that was super disappointing because I was like, this makes sense. Trilogies make sense. And
It makes you care about the characters so much more
yeah,
when you have that
totally.
connection going into game to game to game.
hmm
Yeah,
carrying choice over, like, oh, brilliant.
I still think it's a travesty that they have not done like some remake of the trilogy or remaster even for people because damn.
I can't even talk about it. It makes me so upset. Mass Effect 2 is, and I've talked about it a lot if you followed me on the podcast and stuff, but like Mass Effect 2 I think deserves to be in that list of best RPGs of all time, and I've never connected with characters as well as I have in Mass Effect 2.
Hold on. We are setting the record for no hits here.
Aren't we supposed to? I thought I was supposed to. I'm following his instructions, I thought.
Look at this.
I'm
He's,
pressing.
he's dodging him, hitting
This
him.
is too good.
I'm literally pressing all the buttons he's telling me to. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're dodging them.
Look at this. It's incredible.
All right, we'll finish this later. He felt.
Yeah.
No, I like.
Look at that.
You
That's
can
it.
got this.
That's if that was a test score in high school. That's a B. I'm okay.
That's all about your reflexes.
B's get
man.
degrees. Oh.
Look at you unlocked an achievement. Heyo.
But the queen was not impressed. Oh no. Do I perform an encore? No. No, I do not.
You always give an encore. Give
Well.
the crowd what they want.
See, that's why they like me though. I'm different. Do you guys want to keep going, or should we roulette into our next game?
I think we can roulette. I'm going to go get my daughter set up on a game here real quick and
Okay.
be right back.
Okay.
All right. I am back.
Reiner is back, and now we have
Oh my
Nightfire
gosh.
up.
We were having a meltdown upstairs over Roblox.
Oh no. I mean, that's fair, right?
Things went fine here. I didn't fangirl over anything at all.
There was no
Great.
talk
We were
of making it a
fine.
Persona dance party. Everything's fine. Yeah. So the last time, if you don't remember, we raced across the frozen lakes of whatever European country we're in, and now we're going to double cross, apparently.
Okay, and we're having game audio is low.
MI6 has been contacted by Alexander Mayhew.
Okay, that should be better.
Drake's chief of Asian operations. Mayhew fears that Drake intends to kill him, holding him
Ba-da,
responsible for their
ba-da,
little setback
ba-da.
in Austria. In exchange for our protection, Mayhew will deliver evidence exposing
All right, so we're what, like a third of the way through this game, you think?
I think so. Don't quote me on that, but
The name Bond. James Bond.
yeah. But yeah, I will have to see where we left off. I think there was what we said, like 15 chapters in this, something like that.
Yeah, we got to be like a third of the way.
What chapter are you guys on?
This is like the 4th or 5th,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I am double fisting coffee and Coke here.
Ooh, very nice.
I just
That
have
is
water.
pandemic living.
I'm boring.
Yeah.
You're healthy, Kim.
Yeah.
I am spiraling with my rations like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah.
Into the abyss. Yeah, it's just all junk food.
Oh no, all I've been eating is so there's this Flamin' Hot Cheetos popcorn that they have now.
Oh yeah.
And I go through a bag in like 2 days. It's so good.
I have a bag upstairs, by
You
the
do?
way. Yeah, I was eating it on replay last week.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, we're getting it going already. Popping off here.
Yeah.
I do like that they have the aim of stormtroopers, and they almost shot my guy in the head. That wouldn't have been good.
Well, you're James Bond. He
Yeah.
can dance around in front of you as much as he wants.
That's
and be
true.
Fine.
Yeah. Oh man, got the deagle already. Here we go. Now we're cooking. Man, game audio. What a concept.
I'm not going anywhere till you check the hallway.
Fair.
Okay, sorry guys. I knocked my headphones out of my computer.
Oh.
I should have. Yeah, it. You know what, Reiner? I think I'm gonna get that chair because the chair I have right now is not good.
Oh yeah.
The Diva chair?
For sitting. That really expensive Diva chair that they have. I'm trying to like convince my fiance that it's a good investment. We'll see. I said that at the end of the day, I honestly want a comfy pink chair. My cat is also here, so if he makes an appearance, it's just gonna happen.
Then the stream gets even better.
I would close my door, but he bangs on it,
Oh,
and then
for
also
real?
like he bangs on it so hard he actually can push it open. It's crazy.
My dog
It's
is
been
yeah.
it's been not great.
Yeah. My dog is starting to learn to open doors more. And it always makes for a hilarious time.
Yeah, mine figured out like how to open my dresser drawers. He gets into
Uh-oh.
everything. We had to put baby locks on a bunch of stuff.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it's intense.
So this is part 3 of our playthrough of Nightfire.
Yep.
I call it half of Alex's childhood. 'Cause that's one of the 2 games he played.
Yep, that's it. You know
What's
what?
that, a can of spinach?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make sure he's got to Popeye it up, like if he's getting low on health.
Alex, what was your first game system?
So we used to rent consoles back in the day when you could rent them from Blockbuster.
Yeah, Blockbuster.
Oh,
yeah.
So we used to rent the Nintendo 64, which was always great. But then the first one I think I actually owned outside of handhelds was the GameCube. I think that was my first. And with that came Double Dash and Smash Bros. And Nightfire. I got away with shooters because my parents knew who James Bond was, and they're like, "Oh, we like the movies. There's nothing brain rotting in there."
My parents never paid attention to what I was playing. So that worked in my favor, I guess,
very
growing
nice.
up.
Yeah.
Keep your head down. I'll be back for you. Also, could you wipe
And then from there it was 360, and then Xbox One, PS4, Switch.
protect my servants?
Oh, and Wii. I had the Wii. Got
Well,
that.
you had to have the Wii
Oh,
for
yeah.
that bowling, for the bowling.
Oh yeah. We went at midnight to go. My dad and I went to go get it at midnight on release to go get Twilight Princess.
People give the Wii a lot of shit, but my
Mm-hmm.
parents, that was the first time they ever sat down and played games with me. And my grandma loved it
Mm-hmm.
too. It was...
Oh yeah. It was.
I can't think of a system that really brought your family together quite like that.
Yeah.
Right. Like the motion technology was transformative. Again, I'm going to use that word over and over this episode. That really set things up for that system and made people pay attention to it, whereas they wouldn't. But the technology of that system, terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. It was so far behind everything.
I-
And that's why they didn't get a lot of the third-party ports.
Yep.
Even companies wanted to do it because the install base was huge, but it was just like,
Yeah.
we can't.
I just remember too trying to set up multiplayer matches for I think Smash Bros. Brawl was Wii, right? No. There was a Smash Bros. On.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Was it
there
Brawl?
was.
Yeah.
I just don't remember.
Yeah.
God. All of a sudden, I feel like my brain is, yeah, it was Brawl that was on Wii.
Yeah.
It's just like forgetting essential information. This
But-
is what I call getting old.
Yeah.
Pre Alzheimer's, maybe. I don't know.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I hope not. Yeah.
I hope not,
Brain.
but
We need to come up with a term for pandemic brain.
yes, that would be a good one.
Oh man, he just went for it, huh? Very James Bond.
Yeah, there's
Pandemic
times where I
brain.
wake up in the morning and I'm like, should I shave? And it's like, why?
Yeah.
What's the point now?
I'm just preparing you guys when we go back to the office. I'm probably never wearing jeans again. It's just gonna be sweatpants.
Yeah.
I can't go back now. I can't. I just can't. So you're gonna have to deal with it.
There could be worse things.
I took my daughter and dog out for a walk today because we hadn't been outside in I don't know how long, right? Because we had snow yesterday and it's just, the weather hasn't been great. And today it's a little sunny, still
Yeah.
like 40, but we get down the block and she's like, I want to go back and play Roblox. I was like, that's all we've been doing is playing video games. And that's great.
Yeah.
Like, I can't criticize her because that's what
Yeah.
I did as a kid.
Exactly.
But-
God, I remember I would get on my rollerblades. I wanted to be like a pro rollerblader
Oh, yeah?
back in the time. Yeah. I watched
in.
the movie Brink on Disney Channel and it made me think I could do it. But anyways, we would rollerblade up to the Funko Land and just like play on all the consoles.
Oh,
That's
no.
actually how I found a game called Alundra that
Oh.
became one of my favorites.
I don't know what civilian I killed. I'm sorry.
Why are you
just plugged
killing
him.
civilians?
I don't know. He was shooting at me. I thought he was.
Oh, here comes the terrible PS1 checkpoints.
Oh no. It
Or
has
PS2? PS2.
It's PS2. Yeah.
I'm so happy that a lot of that has been fixed this now.
Yeah.
That and like I still get upset when I can't save anywhere in a game because it's like in this I hate waiting for a save point.
Yeah.
Because I'll be in the middle of something and I'll be like, "Wait, I'm coming, right? I don't want." But at least now you can like suspend your play,
Yeah.
on the PS4 at least and
Mhm.
Switch and all of them actually. I
Yeah.
don't even think there's one that you can't. But
Mm-hmm.
I get paranoid.
All right, as Alex gets back to where we were, I got to ask you guys a question. So we had Last of Us get delayed. We had Iron Man
Yes.
VR get delayed. Sony, obviously, kind of looking at the pandemic as something that's going to hurt their sales.
Yep.
I know everybody's like, well, everybody could download games. What about, they're so worried about retail.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that has to do also with now there's 16 million Americans without jobs
Yeah.
that can't pay their rent. They're not, they're not going to be buying a new game. Where do you think we are with next gen now? If Sony is delaying these games indefinitely, like they're
Oh,
not
they
even
don't see
saying
me.
fall or winter. Look at you. You got a 007 thing.
Oh, that was dope.
Yeah.
But do you think we'll have the systems coming this year? You think they're still locked in? They just showed us the PS5 controller, implying things are moving forward.
Yeah.
Or do you think they're going to wait until this is all kind of figured out, people are back to work before they have us buy hardware, which is even more expensive than a game?
Mm.
I still think they're going to shoot to get it out by the holidays because that's a big missed opportunity if you don't. But I think we're in a different situation, obviously, than we have ever been in. And yeah, if not a lot of people, if it continues with a lot of people losing their jobs, like, is that even something? And even like when you release a system, you got to have games for it. We've all learned
Right,
that.
yeah.
Like, time. But I will be really interested to see because they've been asked time and time again if like, are you guys still on track, whatever, and they have not yet said like we're not gonna, we're gonna hold back
Yeah.
from release. Like everything's on, but you never know what's going on behind the scenes right now with anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, and I've heard like manufacturing has moved out of China. Like they've done that. This is just rumors I'm hearing, but that a lot of it's in Mexico and different plants. So the system should be being made if those plants are still open.
Yeah. Well, I'm worried now that they're going to do the thing that I don't want
Able
them
to make
do.
games.
I'm really worried that it's going to be like the most scarcity of a new system that we've ever seen for both of these because they have to get them out.
oh yeah, and they're not gonna have enough plot.
Yeah. Like I think if that's the route they take, so be it. But I think we'll see levels of scarcity that surpass like the Switch when the Switch was at its prime.
Oh gosh.
So I don't love that answer. I would rather have it delayed, but I don't think I'm gonna get my my wish on that one.
There's
if
just
if devs
sorry,
are still
go ahead.
able to crank on games, like we don't know the state of that either, Kim. You know, like
yeah.
what's
Well, that's what
happening
I was
behind
just
the
at.
scenes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like
Ah.
right now we don't even like I was before we got on here, guys, talking with Reiner and Alex. I was like, oh, you know, I was getting really overwhelmed because we had all these great games released recently, and I was like, when am I going to have time to play all these? I got to play them, and then I looked on the release schedule to see what else was coming up, and it is very, very barren. I knew it was barren, but not to that extent. And then I think like the longer this goes on, like, will we even have that many games out by, you know, to even focus on play? Like it's a little, so to see that kind of maybe even carry over into the new systems and stuff that's planned there. Yeah, that's, I think, isn't Ghosts coming up? Ghosts,
Yeah,
or
I
did
mean, all eyes are
delayed
on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
all eyes are on that. It's not
Well,
delayed yet.
That's what I'm saying, because Sony's delayed so much. I'm curious if that one will actually hit its release date or not.
Yeah.
And I know some people are saying like, well, maybe they delayed Last of Us because of the themes being so dark and End of Daisy, and maybe that's part of it. But Iron Man doesn't sync with that, right? Like
No.
delaying that and Iron Man is just kind of both indefinitely says something very different than the thematic thing. And if those are both current gen games, so if they delay Ghost, that would be two huge current gen games that are now pushing maybe beyond when the new hardware is supposed to hit.
Yeah.
Just a big mess of who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I almost don't want the systems to come out.
Yeah.
You know, like I kind of want current gen to finish the way it's supposed to with Last of Us and Ghost, and then we move on.
Yeah, I
But-
agree.
I don't want the systems to release if there's no games to really play on them. You know, it's.
Yeah.
I feel like those days where like launches were just, you know, some didn't have very much should be over by this point, because we've learned our lessons there.
Or should have. Yeah.
Yeah, or should have. So I would be like, because I think a lot of people then are like, why would I need to buy this if I can just play everything I want on my current system?
Yeah.
But I am ready for new hardware, though. Like, I feel like I'm at the point where it's like, it would be cool to have something new. But, you know, too, like, the differences we're going to see are not going to be as great from generation to generation as they were in the past. So.
Alex! Die right in front of me.
Why? Why?
I had him in my sights, too, and I couldn't James Bond it. I wasn't good enough.
Stop killing civilians.
I didn't. I watched the dude kill her. It made me sad. It's not great. Do we end it there, or do I get one more shot at redemption? Because now I know where.
You got one more shot.
One more shot.
Do redemption.
Okay. Because I know exactly what I have to do at this point.
Yeah, I wonder how dev teams are holding up. Like, you know, some teams, you have like multi-hundred people, you know, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people working on something.
Yeah.
How do you coordinate that without an office? Some studios have multiple studios, so they're already coordinating over great distances.
Yeah.
Can things like Zoom and Discord, you know, facilitate dev needs?
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. You're starting to crackle again, by the way. Yeah, because I want to. No amount of someone's work is worth getting sick from this. So I want people to stay safe. It's tough because, you know, in the midst of all the movies getting pushed and stuff like that, you know, games stayed relatively untouched, but that's because they had already produced so many, you know. So I think now we're going to start to feel that even more, and that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm also thankful for games like Warzone and, like, you know, and online experiences that I really enjoy, because that'll at least keep the next couple of months fresh a little bit.
Gong.
Gong. I was hoping it would do something. I thought that would be very James Bond, but alas, it did not.
It's just got
Yeah,
gong.
At least you tried.
that's what matters. Don't mind me.
Oh.
There we go. Wait, excuse me. Okay, that's fine. All right. Hostage released. We're good. Uh-oh. I'm going to die here. Guaranteed.
No! No!
No, he's reloading.
You're James Bond!
He's
James
reloading.
Bond!
You're Oh, let's go. Not today. Not today.
My hero.
Can you pat me on the head again, Reiner?
Let's see. Where are you? You're over here. Yeah, there you go.
That's a
big
good boy.
Yeah.
That's a good boy.
Oh, here's a treat. You want one? Here you go. Just gonna drop it in your mouth. There you go.
Thank you, I think. Oh, dumb. All right. So now I know what I'm doing, but I have much less health to do it with. So maybe a stealthier approach may help. Or maybe that's just not an option. We'll find out. Should be able to hit this guy.
That was really impressive, man.
Thank you. Oh,
William
nope.
Garcia says Alex is the best boy.
Oh,
He really.
thank you.
Oh, no.
You just scratch your
no.
head one more time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Nope, you got to lean in a little more, bud.
Okay.
Yep. There
There
you
we
go.
I would like people to appreciate me cocking my head and still not dying. I think that's impressive on my part.
Cocking your head and cocking the gun at the same time.
Exactly. Everything
Bond.
needs to be reloaded.
Dude.
There we go.
Dude, you got to kill that guy.
Oh yeah. There we go. All right. See, now I'm out of armor though, which is making this even more difficult. Let's see if I can. Is the game gonna do me a solid here, or is this too far away? Oh, it sounds like he is a sniper too. I should probably avoid getting blown away from that. There we go.
Adam, I'm going to pat myself on the back here. Adam W. says he's just stopping by to say hi. Always good to see Kim and Alex on replay. And then said, Reiner, your recent piece on how your gaming habits have changed was fantastic.
Yeah.
Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy and happy. I think we all are. But I wanted to ask you guys about kind of how you're holding up with the pandemic and if your gaming habits have changed like mine. Like, I don't really want to play a lot of violent stuff. Like when I was in the Modern Warfare stream with you, Alex, I got up at one point, walked away, and just had to take a moment to breathe because I was stressing out. Like I was really like, I just hit a point of being in this pandemic and being stressed out by everything else in the world that it's never happened to me before, by the way, where I've just been like defeated by the intensity of a game.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you should read my article.
Yeah, Alex, jeez.
Sorry, I was busy messing up the audio for Final Fantasy.
So my clan has moved collectively off Overwatch. You know, that wasn't just from me. It was just everybody's just kind of like, this is too intense right now. Like, let's just play something more fun and just kind of goof around. And you know, I've been playing a lot of Minecraft and Roblox with my daughter. We're looking for fun things to do. I'm not saying I'm not playing non-violent games. I'm playing Darksiders with another friend, Darksiders Genesis. But a lot of it is just kind of changed in terms of I can't do the ultra-violent, intense stuff right now. Yeah.
The opening to Resident Evil 3 now takes on a whole different level of just like with the stuff spreading and everything, you know, out of it was hard for me to actually watch that, and I was surprised that it had that impact. Yeah. Because I knew everything was coming, but I was just like the news reports that they had going, I was like, oh, this is it's hitting a little too close to home right now. Sure.
I first off, I did it. So you're welcome, everyone. I did it.
You did.
Yeah. More importantly though, games haven't affected me a ton, but like other forms of media, like I've talked about it before, but like I had to stop watching Death Note, the anime, because it was just so dark and so dreary. I'm coping. It feels like it's a day-to-day thing, because sometimes it's like I've accepted that this is what it is and that's okay, so I can consume the content that I'm used to, but then there's some days where it's like I just need to throw on The Office and not worry about anything.
Right.
Something that is so goofy that just kind of makes me just laugh out loud and, you know, go from there.
To the chat, are there any games that you've gotten around to that you normally, wouldn't have had the time for that you're really enjoying?
Also, why do I have a razor? Did anyone else see that?
Yeah, Darksiders Genesis is that game for me, Kim.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Darksiders series. This is like kind of the Diablo one, but it's online co-op, so I'm getting to play that with a friend, and that is that's been great so far.
Having games to play now with friends is just so essential, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, someone finished Horizon Zero Dawn, Phantasy Star Online 2, Divinity 2, that's a good one. Roller Coaster type. You know what? I've been playing a lot of simulation games during this, and I think it's because it gives me something to like hyper focus on, and also they're a little bit more relaxing to play, even though like a lot of them are about managing chaos. But there's something very like liberating about being able to do that somewhere, because you feel like you can't control much going on right now.
Yeah. Also, I want these pajamas. Sorry, I just had to say it.
Let me see them again.
Okay. I mean, like,
I gotta judge.
I want to strut around in that.
I think you would look good in them.
I know. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's office attire.
Oh yeah. We're changing it up, baby. Sorry, not to interrupt.
No, I was gonna say, in an upcoming issue, I actually talk more about this. So in your next issue, yeah, you guys should be able to read about it.
Yeah.
Kind of what I went through, going through the simulation games.
Where did you come from?
Disinfect the issue before you open it.
Yeah, please.
Well, if they're opening it digitally, they don't.
That's true.
Yeah.
Disinfect your computer, though.
Yeah, I
if
was
you're
gonna say
touching,
maybe the keyboard.
If you're touching.
It's so stressful. Like, I'm a single dad, so it's like I'm a first grade teacher while still doing my daily, like routines of work and life, and it's madness right now.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no end in sight. That's the crazy thing. Like, this has to be adapted as the new norm until we're told otherwise, and everything just keeps pointing to this getting delayed further and further, pushed out further and further, right?
Yeah.
Like Minnesota, they just changed it to, I think, May 4th now from, they added a week.
Yeah.
And I think that's just going to keep sliding.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I think it's easy. It's an easier pill to swallow to do that every once in a while than be like, yeah, we don't know. Like, this could be like August before this lifts. I think public panic would definitely go up if that were the case.
And things I'm not doing again until everything's in the clear. I'm not going to a sporting event. I'm not sitting, shoulder to shoulder with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to concerts. I'm not standing shoulder to shoulder with people watching a band.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going to a movie theater either. Like,
makes me sad.
It's just weird to think about that stuff. Like, it's just gone until we get a vaccine, basically, or this thing just magically disappears.
Yeah. Which, unfortunately, I don't think wishing away
it's
is
probably not going to happen.
Was it like a sniper? I think I heard a snippety sniper. Is there another way to get around it?
I just kind of want to go sit in like a Target or Walmart parking lot and just scream at people as they get out of their cars, like, "Go home!
Oh no!
Don't go in the store!"
Yeah. Reiner, man, I wish.
The virus.
Oh, there you are. Reiner, I wish I could just give you a big bear hug right now, but that would hurt more than it would help at this point.
Yeah. Probably
not supposed to do that.
Yeah, it kills me, man. It's obviously very personal on this stream, but I am definitely a hugger. That's how I communicate my love, and it's killing me to not be able to do that. I hate it so much. But that's neither here nor there. But you better believe when this is all over, everyone's getting hugs, including you, chat, whether you like it or not. Well, actually,
yeah, and everybody who is getting up, going to work, helping with a lot of stuff that we need right now. Super appreciate that, by the way. That cannot be easy, especially being a retail employee right now of any kind.
Yeah. Or
make sure you take care of yourself.
Or a civilian that you accidentally blow away in James Bond Nightfire.
Don't kill civilians.
It already happened. I'm sorry.
You did it again.
I know. I keep telling them.
How close do you think we are?
I can't imagine there's much more. This feels like the bigger of the levels. If we want to pick up from here next time, we can. If not, and we want to keep going, we're at about an hour 10. So, you tell me.
It's been a rough episode. It's definitely got the pandemic all over it.
Yep.
And this is the new norm for us. We're gonna have down episodes. We're gonna have technical difficulties because we're just trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Right. How many days? Does anybody know, Kim or Alex?
So
how many days we've been out of the office?
This marks a full month since we did the replay of Uncharted, where you and I just said office time is done. We're gonna start working from home. This is a full month from then.
Wow.
So yeah, it's nuts.
Wow.
And
I don't like thinking about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I went back and watched it the other day, and I was like, this seems like an eternity ago. But I hope I think for the most part, we're doing a good job with this. Obviously, this.
Yeah, I gotta compliment you guys, Alex and Leo, for all the streams we've been doing. It's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want that to be the new norm. I don't want us to stop doing streams.
Yeah.
Except for today.
Yeah, except for today.
I've found that I've needed streams now more than ever because I love being able to just interact with people. Mm-hmm. There's a good energy that just happens when we're on here and we're chatting with everybody, and it feels good. It feels like just normal discussions, right? It's really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Really enjoyed that.
So, yeah. Sorry, what?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I also think there's something to just sharing how we're feeling, and we want the chat to join in on that too, and let us know how things are going. If there's anything we can do to help in your lives, let us know. You can reach out to us on Twitter or email or what have you.
Yeah, let us know.
We're locked up too. We're willing to play games. A lot of us are big into Call of Duty and stuff like that. If we can have someone else jump in with us, fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. So, but is that where we say goodbye?
Let's say goodbye.
All right.
Let's end our episode of Replay, and we'll be back in 7 days with yet another from our pandemic shelter houses.
Yep. Yeah.
We'll have a different crew and hopefully more stable technology as we move forward. But again, it's a crapshoot. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much for all the support and tuning in, and tell your friends about it.
Yep.
Let's do it again in 7 days. See you then.
See ya.
Bye.
Stay
See
safe.
ya.